Where's your daughter? Where's the knife at?
I'm so
Come here,
sorry.
come here.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
We're just gonna put handcuffs on just for now.
Sorry, this is
Where's the
I'm
knife?
sorry, Dad. I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening. I'm so fucking sorry, Mom. I'm sorry. Please. I'm so sorry.
A 12-year-old girl, whose identity has not been publicly revealed, was taken into custody only moments after she fatally stabbed her younger brother. Every aspect of this case is alarming, from the body camera recordings captured right after the killing to the devastating discoveries about the girl's household. Let us delve into the complete story of the Tulsa homicide that happened in January 2023. However, before we proceed, I must caution you that this material includes discussions of severe drug misuse, cruelty toward animals, self-inflicted harm, and homicide. Tulsa itself is a bustling city situated along the Arkansas River. It boasts stunning Art Deco architecture and cutting-edge museums. But at the same time, it holds the troubling distinction of being among the most hazardous metropolitan regions in the United States, showing a murder rate of 9.3 killings for every 100,000 residents, compared to the national average of 6.5. It's unnerving to note that within the span of just 48 hours, 4 murders were reported inside Tulsa's boundaries. So when Tulsa's emergency responders got a call on January 5, 2023, regarding a homicide, they believed themselves ready for almost anything. Almost anything is key here. The police didn't anticipate coming upon a frenzied 12-year-old crying and saying how sorry she was for ending the life of her 9-year-old brother, Zander. In retelling this narrative, we'll refer to the girl as Olivia.
Come here, come here.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
We're just gonna put handcuffs on
Just prior to that, Olivia had entered Zander's bedroom brandishing a knife. She stabbed him repeatedly. Their mother, April, heard the blood-curdling cries from a different part of the home. The moment she rushed into her son's room, the damage was already done. Olivia had dashed into her own room and tossed the knife out of the window. Inside Zander's room, April spotted her boy on his bed, still losing blood. It was as though every corner of the space was streaked with his blood. Olivia did not attempt to flee. She was already in tears, seemingly in shock at what she had carried out. Her mother dialed 911, and the authorities detained Olivia in under an hour.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
How old are you?
I'm 12 years old.
Where's the knife?
I was upstairs in my room and I threw it out the window and it's behind the apartment right here.
You threw it where?
I threw it out my window upstairs.
Right up here?
Not right there. It's the room. This is the other room. It's right behind the apartment. This apartment right here.
So where would the knife be? On that side?
Right behind. Yeah. I'm
Okay.
so fucking sorry, Mama. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. This is some demonic shit. I'm so sorry.
What's your mom's name? What's your mom's name?
Devastated and reeling, April strove to grasp the fact that her own daughter had done something so horrifying, all while the police were right there.
I gotta go with him. I'm so sorry. I don't know what the happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
Come over here so we're out of the paramedics' way.
I don't know what happened. I'm so sorry.
Hey, what's your name? Seat for me. Sit crisscross on the grass, okay? Just sit there for a second. You don't have the knife on you, right?
No, I swear I don't. I'm
Sorry.
sorry. I don't. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened.
Is there anybody else inside the house?
No, it's just me, my mom, and my brother. He's dying.
Hey, how would I get to the knife? Is there the backside?
I can show you.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I really didn't want things to happen like this. This sucks. I'm so sorry. You're probably gonna go to jail.
That single statement probably conveys how numerous killers eventually collapse emotionally once they understand the aftermath of their decisions. In short, they end up in prison. Yet Olivia seemed to shatter at the precise moment she absorbed that she might have killed her younger brother, as though she suffered a mental break and had zero control over her behavior. One officer gathered the knife as evidence, while another asked Olivia if she herself was hurt. At this juncture, a potentially revealing clue surfaced.
Stick your hands out like this for me.
What?
Do you have any cuts on you?
I do.
Where at?
On my arm.
Which arm?
Both of them. My left one is just small cuts.
Did you cut yourself?
Yes. Actually, I meant my right arm. It just has the small cuts, and then my left one has the cuts. I'm sorry. I don't know what the fuck.
These were not cuts that occurred during the assault on Zander. Based on the officer's perspective, this indicated that Olivia possessed some kind of personal history necessitating careful investigation. Meanwhile, April traveled in the ambulance beside the medical team and her wounded son. Miraculously, paramedics noted that Zander still had a pulse during the journey to the hospital. April held on to hope and urged him not to stop fighting. Even in this grim scenario, she continued to show protective instincts toward her daughter.
What's happening with her? What's gonna happen with her? I need to go to the hospital.
I don't know yet. You don't know yet. You go with the hospital, we'll come and talk to you, okay?
What happens? Just be calm, okay? I don't know what happened tonight. But we'll figure it out. I have to go be with your brother. Make sure he's okay. I don't know what the fuck I did. I'm so sorry. I love you.
Inside the patrol vehicle, Olivia stayed in a near-hysterical state about the notion of going to prison, prompting the officers to soothe her as best they could.
Will I be in jail?
Right now, let's just, calm down a little, okay? I don't know what we're gonna do right now, alright? But right now, we're investigating.
Okay.
Take a deep breath, okay? I know there's a lot of things going on right now. Just take a breath.
I don't know why I did it.
Just take a breath. Let's not think about it.
Shortly after that, she started muttering about her math teacher.
When I first came to school, our math teacher, he had cancer, so he wasn't at school for a really long time, and yesterday was his first day back in school.
Roughly 30 minutes later, Olivia was taken for formal questioning at the Children's Hospital, where April was also located. April maintained that her daughter had never shown the slightest form of violence toward her brother, nor did Zander act hostile in return. According to April, her children had different fathers. Olivia's father is her first husband, Dustin, whereas Zander's father is her second ex-husband, Levi. She initially left out any mention of their shockingly extensive criminal records. April was also reluctant to allow the authorities to conduct a thorough search of the family's residence. So real quick, I know that I'm probably the last person you want to talk to right now, but what we need to get is a search waiver for the apartment so we can go through and have our crime scene detectives do a thorough investigation of this. So you don't have to authorize us to do this, but, it would really aid in our investigation of trying to figure out everything that's going on. Notice how April's tone shifted in an instant. The trembling in her voice faded. She grew very firm about keeping the police away from her home. At last, upon receiving assurances that they wouldn't specifically look for illegal substances or let her two cats escape, she signed the waiver. Right then, Zander's father Levi arrived with his mother, causing April to break down once again. Zander died at the hospital not long afterward. While Olivia's recorded interrogation wasn't broadcast publicly, deeply unsettling revelations surfaced in the following days, painting a sharper picture of her childhood and mental condition at the time of the killing. Detectives unearthed that April wrestled with a crippling dependency on some of the most dangerous narcotics available, methamphetamine and heroin among them, when she was a teenager. She and Olivia's father, Dustin, would inject substances multiple times a day. However, once April discovered she was pregnant, she asserts she quit for good. But the men she drew into her life proved more problematic than the drugs themselves. First in line was Dustin James Cunningham. Officers needed only to run his name in their database to see he was behind bars. It turned out that he had well-established ties to a white supremacist group known as the Universal Aryan Brotherhood. Dustin first encountered April during their teenage years, beginning a relationship fueled by substance abuse until April's pregnancy with Olivia. Olivia's father, Dustin, had 16 police records, was a member of the Aryan Brotherhood, and distributed meth. When he was apprehended during a chase, which started because of a faulty flashlight. They found drugs in his car, and he didn't have a license. He never paid a dime in child support, though he was legally obligated to pay $1,300 a month. April's second husband, Levy, revealed himself to be an alcoholic shortly after the wedding. He was later convicted of brutally killing a cat, and in prison, he beat another inmate to a pulp. He also assaulted his own father and ambulance personnel. Despite this, April believes that the violent environment has not affected Olivia. She is convinced that her daughter's prescription medication was to blame. Nonetheless, psychiatrist Angela Arnold has said that Olivia was not on ADHD medication when the killing happened, so there is no conceivable way it could have impacted her judgment at that time. But she was not on the medication when this incident occurred in which she killed her brother. She wasn't on the medication at the time that this occurred, Dr. Arnold stated. What they're describing could be a brief psychotic episode. She could have had a brief psychotic episode in which she went outside of herself, and she didn't know what she was doing and killed her brother. But you can't link that to a medication that she was not on. It cannot be linked to a medication that she was not on. Just to clarify, this is still only supposition. However, we do know that April was an avid user of serious narcotics when she first became pregnant with Olivia. On a darker note, the CDC says the number of babies born in withdrawal, a dependency inherited from a mother battling addiction, has risen fivefold over the last dozen years. In 2013 alone, more than 27,000 babies were born addicted to opioids like heroin or prescription painkillers. Indeed, if a pregnant woman takes harmful substances, the unborn child might inherit that dependency. No one can say for certain how far along April was when she realized she was pregnant and chose to quit, and there's always the possibility she was not entirely truthful about giving up the habit in 2010. It begs the question, why did she resist so strongly when the police wanted a warrant to search her home? Could it be she was still abusing drugs at the time Olivia was taken into custody? Given her pattern of being with substance-abusing partners, it's quite plausible that Olivia had contact with serious narcotics from a very tender age. Should she have ever begun using herself, it is entirely possible that drugs triggered a psychotic outburst. Nonetheless, April clings stubbornly to the idea that Olivia's prescribed medication is to blame. Stuff like this can happen months or even years after being off medication like this. According to Dr. Angela Arnold, that assertion is baseless. I do not believe that the mother can assume that months off of a medication can trigger behavior in someone like this. The medicine is out of her system. The medicine does not last for a long time in her system, and the mother is assuming that a medication went in and did harm to this little girl's brain. However, the mother was also saying that the little girl's behavior up to this point was fine. She was not exhibiting any bad behavior, and she's not exhibiting any bad behavior in prison. So why? You cannot say that this behavior comes and goes off the medication. You would have more signs and symptoms. I do not believe that the medication she was off of caused damage to her brain. In other words, made her psychotic, which then made her kill her brother. Hence, it strongly appears that April might be defending her own interests by attributing Olivia's actions to the medication. April avoids disclosing anything she may have done to her daughter. It's entirely possible she harbors guilt for bringing men like Dustin and Levy into Olivia's life, or maybe she committed something even more ominous toward her own daughter. The actual motive for Zander's killing may not emerge until Olivia stands trial. It's very probable that prosecutors will investigate whether Olivia recognized the moral weight of her deed and whether she was in the midst of a genuine psychotic episode or if she plotted the murder ahead of time. From Dr. Arnold's perspective, the initial apology Olivia offered to police suggests an awareness of what she had done. Individuals with bipolar disorder experience intense emotional highs and lows, spanning mania and periods of deep depression. If Olivia did indeed have bipolar disorder, she might have killed Zander in an extreme manic state. However, bipolar disorder by itself is rarely an impetus to commit murder. Unraveling the full truth about Olivia's childhood will eventually fall to Olivia herself. Right now, she is locked up in the Tulsa County Family Center for Juvenile Justice, maintained under strict supervision. She will undergo multiple psychological evaluations before any legal proceedings begin. As a 12-year-old, you're at different places in your mental growth, your mental well-being, and your mental health. They are trained differently as opposed to interviewing a 35-year-old, for instance. This is such an extreme point of atypical behavior. Last year, Tulsa had nearly 70 homicides, and not a single one of them was perpetrated by a 12-year-old. Olivia's act is unimaginably brutal, and in such alarming scenarios, there's a tendency for minors to be prosecuted in adult court. Nevertheless, Olivia's age, only 12, may prove a key factor in preventing that from happening. She could be released within a handful of years. However, the emotional damage done to her family is likely to be permanent. In a general sense, they're losing 2 children. One is now deceased, and one is now the suspect. Court proceedings for minors differ from adult trials. Olivia might plead guilty to avoid a trial. If it does proceed, she could attempt an insanity defense or blame her ADHD medication. However, Attorney Carter Jennings doubts such a defense would succeed, noting she tried to discard the weapon. In any case, she's unlikely to face more than a few years in juvenile detention. Meanwhile, April and the family carry a devastating emotional burden that will never fully heal. Thank you for watching. How do you feel about this shocking incident? In your view, what punishment should Olivia face for taking her little brother's life? And what do you believe drove her to that extreme? Share your thoughts in the comments. Also, please remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell.